Welcome to Deme. Deme is a tool for making collaborative websites. This video shows you how to set up your Deme website. The first time you open Deme, after installing it, it'll look like this. Along the top is the toolbar. On the left are the logo and some menus, and the rest of the page is content. Let's get started by logging in. Clicking on the Login dropdown over here in the top right corner, and then selecting Login As. Since we haven't yet set up user accounts, we can log in directly as the admin. This is something we'll change later so that not everyone will be able to log in as admin. Now that we're logged in, let's go back to the home page. The toolbar which we use to log in with is in basic mode, with tools for viewing the site, like a search button, and a font size button. We can switch the toolbar to advanced mode by clicking on Tools over here on the left. Now we see a lot more tools for editing and setting up the site. One of the most important items is the Actions menu over here, which we're going to open and use to edit the home page using the Edit button right here. So this is the Edit view for the home page. Let's go ahead and change things around. I'm going to go ahead and change the first line to Welcome to Deme, a tool for making collaborative sites. Now I'm going to save the document. As you can see, those changes are now on the home page. Another important part of advanced mode is the metadata bar, which we can show and hide by clicking on the information icon over here in the top right. There's a lot of information here about what we're looking at. I want to go ahead and stretch to make it a little bit bigger. For example, if we open up the action notices, it'll show the history of the document and how we just edited it. We can also open up versions, and you can see the different versions of the document. We can even go back to the first version and take a look at how it was before I added the additional text. There's also Help on the menu, which has information about the type of document which you might find helpful. Alright, so now let's change the title of the site to something else. First, let's click on Admin in the footer. We want to change our site settings, so click View Current Site, and then Actions, Edit. Now let's scroll down until we see the site title, and let's change this to Deme Demo and save it. Now we can see that the title has changed both on the left logo as well as on the tab up here. Let's edit the site again by clicking on Actions and then Edit. Now let's scroll down to the site logo and click on the ... to open up a Select Image Document dialog, where we can create a new image document since we don't have any images yet. Let's go ahead and call this Deme Demo Logo and use this image file. Now that we've created it, we can see that Deme Demo Logo has populated the site logo field. Let's go ahead and save it and see what happens. Here's the logo I selected. Now it's up here. Now let's go ahead and add some new users. To do this, we go to Actions, then Create, and select New Person. Now the name is what's displayed publicly throughout the site, and in general is the person's full name. Now I want to create Plato, and I'm not sure what his last name, so I'm just going to type in Plato. And I'm also going to go ahead and add a photo of him over here, the same way that we did the logo. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill in his first name as Plato. Create the person. And here we have Plato. I'm also going to go ahead and add a second person. This time I'm going to go ahead and use the create a new item shortcut on the admin toolbar. That just directly opens up the create a new item dialog and create another new person. This time I want to make Socrates. I also don't know what his last name is. Gonna go ahead and create that image document, put in his first name, and create. So now we've got 2 brand new people. Now let's make a group to put our new users in. Let's go to Actions and Create, and select New Group. Like persons, groups have names and an image. I'm going to name mine Agora, and give it an image. Go ahead and create that image, and now I'm going to create the group. As you can see, the group currently doesn't have any members in it. So I'm going to go ahead and add a member, and then type in Plato. He comes right up. I'm going to go ahead and insert. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another member, and this time I'm going to use the ... Just pretend that I've forgotten Socrates, and then just select him and insert it like so. Now let's go ahead and create a poll for our group to take. Go to Actions, Create, and choose New Agree Disagree Poll. Name your poll as appropriate. I'm going to name mine Philosophy Poll. Under question, I'm going to put, do you adhere to these philosophical statements? Most importantly, each and every poll needs to have a group it's for. Under eligible group, I'm going to select my group by clicking on the ... and picking out Agora from the list of groups. There's also more abilities for you to set the visibility of responses to control if people can see who has voted, and also the ability to allow people to change their answers. I'm going to go ahead and leave these to their default and click Create Agree Disagree Poll. Now we need to add some propositions to the poll. Go ahead and click Add a Proposition. Let's say I want the first one to be about wisdom. For the item name, I'm going to put wisdom. Under summary text, I'm going to put wisdom means knowing that you know nothing. And in the body, I'm going to go ahead and put further details that I've copied and pasted from elsewhere. Now, I'm going to click Create after I'm done with it. So now we can see our first proposition listed and a Read More button, which shows the more detailed text when you click on it. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more propositions. It's looking pretty good to me, so now I want to try taking the poll. In the toolbar, I'm going to go ahead and click the Account drop-down menu and click Login As. Now I'm going to choose one of the group members to log in as, and so I'm going to go ahead and choose Socrates and go back to the previous page, the poll that we were just on. And so now the view of the poll looks very different from when we were administering the poll. And now we can start taking the poll. So since Socrates wrote all of these, I'm going to go ahead and agree with all these. Add a personal statement and submit it. Now we can see the results of the poll being that I, Socrates, have agreed with everything, and Plato has not voted yet. Now let's try adding a discussion board. Let's go to Actions, Create, and choose New Discussion Board. I'm going to go ahead and name it the Agora Discussion Board. Go ahead and create that. And I'm also going to kick off the first discussion. I can go ahead and click on the topic I just made. And I can even reply. Now let's try making a new page. Let's go to Actions, Create, and select New HTML Document. I'm going to go ahead and call this Socrates Bio and paste in some data that I found on the internet. Go ahead and create that HTML document. And now we've got a brand new HTML page. Now that we have a group, a poll, a discussion board, and an HTML page, let's do something a little more advanced and make them into tabs along the top of the site. We'll do this by editing the layout. The first thing that we'll want to do is to log in as admin so that we'll have the right permissions. Next, we need to find the correct layout. Let's go to admin in the footer and then view current site. Here we can see that the default layout is set to Deme layout. So let's go open that up. And here it is. The Deme layout is written in a combination of HTML and something called Django template tags. The Django template tags define different parts of the page as blocks. So here we can see that starting with this block banner section, there's a banner section block. And then the next block down is the tabs block section. And then after that, there's even a sidebar section, which you can see is what generates the side menu over here. Side menu is labeled over here. This is where it is labeled, and then you can see the home link over here, and then the items link over here. We're mostly interested in the tab section, so let's stick with that. If you're familiar with HTML, you'll notice that there are comment tags wrapping the main part of the tabs. This is why they're not showing up right now. Let's go ahead and edit the layout to add our pages by going to Actions and then Edit. One thing to notice here is that we're working with a list of links. The LI here means list item. The A here means anchor, in other words, a link. And this href part tells the browser where this link goes. Finally, inside of the A tag is the label of the link. So this is what's actually displayed. So this part is all basic HTML. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to remove the comment tags. And next, I've already come up with a list of our links by copying and pasting the URLs from various pages earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. It looks like this. So we can see our home page has a URL of just the slash. Our group page has this part as its URL. And if we wanted to make a link to the edit Deme layout page, we would be able to copy this part and put it in here. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this looks now that I've removed the comments and added in links to the group, poll, discussion, and HTML page that we just created. Let's go ahead and save that, see what happens. You can see up here that these are all the links that we just put in. I'm gonna go click on them. Homepage, the group page, the poll, the discussion, and the HTML page. Now what we just did just scratches the surface of what you can do with Deme layouts. So to find out more information about it, go over here to metadata, help, and the technical Deme guide. Now that we've got basic content and navigation, let's secure our site. The first thing we want to do is to give our users a way to log in. So let's go to group to find our users. Let's do Play-Doh first. And over here in metadata, let's select related items and then show all related items. And over here we can see that Play-Doh currently has 0 authentication methods. So let's go ahead and add one. And choose Deme account. Over here, the most important things to note are the username. We're going to go ahead and give them the username Play-Doh. And then we're going to give them a password. Let's give them password of Apple. And to create the account. Now we can see that Play-Doh has a authentication method. Let's go ahead and test it out. Let's go over here, log out. Now let's try logging back in, but instead of using login as, we're going to use Deme account. Type in Play-Doh and Apple. See how that works. Now we can see that we are logged in as Play-Doh. Now the site isn't too secure as long as everyone can use the login as ability. So we need to change the global permissions. To do that, we use login as. And then admin. And now we go to the admin link in the footer and click on global permissions. Now we go down all the way to the bottom and assign a permission to a user. Let's go ahead and select that user, check anonymous. And we want to add a new permission for anonymous that he cannot log in as. So let's go ahead and find login as and make it a negative permission so that anonymous is no longer allowed to log in as. Go ahead and save it. Now let's test it out by logging out. And now we no longer see the login as, so we have to use our Deme account to log back in. This concludes the Getting Started with Deme screencast. To find out more about Deme, check out the Getting Started with Deme link in the help section or the technical Deme guide. Thanks for watching.